Hi, my name is Josh Walden. I am in the company of Cagney, and today we are at Avatar Studios recording our cast album.
Getting to make this cast album is a complete surreal dream for me. The fact that our show will be recorded for posterity, especially with this group of people, with Matt Perry at the helm as our musical director and the great band that's been with us all through the York and now at the West Side Theater. It's just very exciting, and we're halfway through it right now, and it's gonna sound amazing.
Today's a pinch me kind of day.
Maybe if Cagney's the engine, Bobby is the spark plug. He's the guy that has kept this whole thing energized for a very long time.
I became obsessed with this actor who I felt was ahead of his time, who was mesmerizing, who was never a false word out of his mouth. And then I started reading about his life and who he was as a person, and the spark was lit in me that this is part of what I'm here to do, create a show about James Cagney. Started writing it by myself, almost as a fan, really, and without much experience on how to create a musical. And then I met Peter Cawley, who had done a play of his, and we started collaborating on a script that had period music. That really wasn't doing the trick, so I started writing music and lyrics, and he and I created the first four-person Cagney musical.
So I know Bobby Creighton for more than 2 decades. We did a review together a very long time ago called That Time of the Year, where Bobby wore a dreidel and tap danced. And so that's the first time that we met. I promised him I would never talk about it again, so of course I have to mention it now.
Part about Cagney's life is that he was pretty scandal-free, but he didn't like bullies. And he also struggled with his own persona. He was known as the quintessential tough guy, but wanted to be known as a song and dance man and someone who was an artist. And so those personal battles against the tough guy, against the bullies, I should say, in our case, Jack Warner, and against his own persona are the themes that sort of rose up.
The score of Cagney is a particular challenge because we have 3 writers. We have Bobby Creighton, who wrote some of the music and lyrics. We have myself, who wrote some of the musical lyrics. And of course, the wonderful songs of George M. Cohan. So I think the biggest trick of it, and what we have strived so hard to manage, is a cohesion so that it all actually emanates from the same process.
Always look 'em in the eye.
Christopher McGOVERN and I go way back. This is probably our 40-something collaboration. He brought an incredible musical knowledge to this, a sense of the period, a sense of the language that these characters would have used at this time, and his inherent theatricality is unlike anyone else's I know.
He started collaborating on the music and took over the score and the orchestrations and wrote a lot of the music that's in the score now, and a few of my songs stayed, but Christopher really took over that, led that department.
Black and White introduces us to the world of the play, which is the 1930s and 40s Hollywood, golden era of Hollywood.
I love that Black and White song. The show is 70% original music and 30% George M. Cohan. The original music absolutely ranks right up there with the George M. stuff.
Cagney's just a special show. It has a special score. The music, the way it was directed, choreography is a throwback to the old style musical.
I come from the jazz world, so I'm very used to working on a hodgepodge of original music and standards and putting your own spin on existing work. I like to joke with my friends about my contempt for the written page, which actually has served me very well here at Cagney.
Working with Matt Perry has been great. It's a great partnership, great collaboration.
Bobby Creighton and Chris McGovern have given me a lot of room to put my spin on the score, which has been great, and music directors don't always get that. Because we're making a recording and not doing a show, we have to approach the music differently because we have no visual element. In fact, today, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been relaxing certain tempos so that we can make sure we really understand every word, because we don't have the same driving force of the story to worry about as much, because we're telling the story in a different way.
Oh, Matt Perry is the greatest. He is a gem. First of all, he is so gifted. To have a musical director that also sings incredibly well, Matt Perry sings incredibly well. He can dissect and hear every single person's voice. He knows when I need to be brighter, darker, to blend with Ellen, as an example. He's so good at what he does. It's a pleasure to work with him.
Finding these people that can do all this stuff and be phenomenal tap dancers. So we were so lucky to find this group of people.
We in the theater always call a cast a family, a company a family, and there really is love amongst us. And that has really kept us together and kept us going. Can a good show happen without these things? Of course. But it's so wonderful when these things come together, and not only do you have a good time, but you're with good people, and it really makes for good work.
Well, I play Jack Warner, the head of Warner Brothers Studios, one of the 4 original Warner Brothers who founded the studios in the late 20s. Jack is a real son of a bitch, basically, but a genius.
He just has that, you know, kind of Warner, you know, thing, but you like him at the same time. I mean, Bruce just hits it right in the pocket, and everyone who comes to see the show says afterwards, man, that Jack Warner was terrific. And
if I want it done right, it's up to me then, because I only got 2 hands instead of 10. So
Cagney and Warner naturally had a very head-butting relationship, so it's really fun to play this this nasty guy, this powerful guy who really goes head-butting with James Cagney, who's a wonderful character.
Not to mention promotion, devotion, all the while controlling your emotion.
Danette Holden is an old friend of mine. We did our Broadway debut together in 2003. It's half a block away from her on 9th Avenue. I saw her coming down the block, and it's like, it went ding. I was like, that's the one. And I followed her into the diner, and I said, we're in the middle of auditions. It's your entire skill set. Boy, was that a happy walk down 9th Avenue.
It's called Some Other Guy, and it just talks about how you have to follow your dreams, and if you give up, what's the point? Jimmy Cagney's ma really gave him wings. He flew high because he had a really solid foundation in his mother.
I love Some Other Guy to get to sit on stage at that table and watch and listen to Danette sing this song so beautifully and with so much heart and with so much emotion. And I just get to be sitting right there, just with the audience, just experiencing it with everybody else.
Okay, Ma, I'll give it a shot.
It's so important in a musical that the choreography continues the storytelling that the scenes do and that the songs do. And because of Josh and my longtime collaboration, we were able to really, I hope, make a seamless story that tells Cagney's life in song, in scene, and in dance.
You have to research how Cagney danced, but then when we do the Yankee Doodle stuff, he was imitating Cohan. So then we had to figure out, okay, so what's the difference in those 2 styles? And then when neither of those styles was correct for what we were doing, then I basically used my own style to tell the story.
I feel so lucky and grateful continually that Josh joined us on this journey, that he stuck with us through his rise to choreographic stardom, and he really has believed in the project and stuck with it. And it's a big part of why people go nuts at the end of the show, is the dancing.
My main character is Bob Hope. I'm sure you've heard of him. And I play about 10 other people from the range of an old Yiddish bricklayer to a vaudevillian cross between Jimmy Durante and Fozzie Bear. Trying to find, 10 or 11 different voices so that you're painting with a broad spectrum of colors throughout the show.
Jeremy Benton is basically one of the smartest dudes you could work with, and especially in this period, he just has such great instincts. He's a brilliant guy when it comes to stagecraft. He also happens to be one of the best tap dancers in New York City.
2 left feet, huh?
Bobby, who plays Jimmy Cagney, and I do a tap duel in Act 2. We just do a pure MGM style guy and guy tap duel. That's probably my favorite one that I'm in.
The tap duet between Cagney and Bob Hope, they have such a great camaraderie. It's really a fun moment between those 2 characters, and it was really fun to create that, and we did it all together. I would say that's probably the most satisfying for me.
When love peeks out its head to say, hello,
Hello.
I play 10 characters in total, with Willard Cagney being the featured character. It's extraordinary because they're all so incredibly different. There are even a couple male personas that we get to play in ways that you just don't usually get to do in a musical, where you just play one person.
She's played my wife in every production except one we did in Canada. When she came in to audition the first time, well, first of all, she's so cute, but she had this cute little period outfit, little shorts and tap shoes and a little thing on, and I said, oh my God, I hope she's good, because she looks so perfect. And sure enough, she was great. So she's been my wife ever since.
I really like the trio that Ellen, Jeremy, and Josh are in. It also, I love that part. She flips. I love it.
One of my favorite characters in the show is the brother to James Cagney, Bill Cagney. Bill looks up to Jimmy Cagney so much, envies him in every part of the show. Whatever Jim is doing, Bill wants to be there, wants to support, and actually towards the end starts to take over and act as a producer for Jimmy's movies. So it's a beautiful relationship.
Josh Walden is one of the most versatile actors you could ever dream of having in a company, especially in a company where 4 people play like 50 different people. He can play the tough guy, foreman, badass, fight, totally believably, just as much as he can do the flamboyant director.
I get a chance to do a solo tap dance in the show, and it's to the music of Harrigan. Just like classic vaudeville, that just beautiful time period that I love to sing. And to actually get a chance to tap dance Joshua Burgos's choreography is such an honor. But it's a very revealing moment. If I do not have my feet relaxed enough and prepared, it can be a mess. So every night I have to do a big preparation in order to remind myself, you got it, you can do it, go out there. And then to be in the middle of the moment, knowing that it's such a special piece of choreography and that I get to really execute some fun tap sounds is a true gift for me, and I just absolutely adore it.
Everybody loves the USO scene. I mean, that's wonderful.
It's really just epic dance.
I really enjoy getting to do the USO medley every night, which is the arrangement of all the George M. Cohan songs. We have a little bit of room to have some fun and have some freedom every night, and we take full advantage of that.
My favorite song to sing in the show has to be Tough Guy.
The favorite song that I'm not in, probably, that's hard. I'm gonna say 2, because I cheat. Bobby's song at the end, Tough Guy. He's just so good in that moment.
It's the 11 o'clock number. I think Christopher McGOVERN wrote a song that is as good as any musical theater song I've ever had the privilege of singing.
I really like Tough Guy.
Oh, man, can be tough. Don't stay in your place. Get up in their face.
Tough Guy is really the sum up of his battle with his persona that we explore during the show.
Bobby just nails it. It's like one of those great moments in musical theater that you actually have someone standing center stage belting out a tune that is just well constructed and really full of a lot of energy, and it's so charged, and it takes us right into the finale beautifully.
I love it every time. Tough Guy is an amazing song to me, and it's such a gift to be able to sing that every night.
Not who the real man is.
Yankee Doodle Dandy is George M. Cohan's and James Cagney's ultimate collaboration. He won the Oscar for playing Cohan, and I think, I think that sort of encapsulates all of the Americana of the show.
I used to walk to school as a kid singing I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy and songs like that. There's not a day that goes by when I don't get an email, Bobby doesn't get an email raving. Everybody walks out of that theater happy, and the wonderful thing about this show is it's not just a big song and dance entertainment. What it truly is an accurate portrayal of the life of a legend, Jimmy Cagney.
I think the fun thing about this album is that people get to hear an original score with lots of great songs. Christopher McGOVERN is a master composer, and you're going to get to hear all those. And you get to hear George M. Cohan songs that haven't been recorded like this in who knows how long. And so the fact that we get to combine those to tell our story about this great screen legend is just amazing to me. I think people are really, really gonna love it, and I can't wait for it to be finished. It's truly just amazing that it's happening and a total dream come true.
Made it, Ma! Top of the world!